Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to another theory crafting episode. Just making sure there's no echo of me anywhere. There's going to be one here. Gotta put it down. Today's been a pretty long day for me. I have been recording or streaming for about the past 9.5 hours. So sorry if it's if I mess up on some stuff today. I just want to take a quick second to thank you guys. Today is the 6-year anniversary of my brain surgery, and it was back then I was in a time and in a place where I was having constant surgeries over and over and over and over, and I wasn't getting any better. And when I found out that I had a medical complication and I was going to have that brain surgery, genuinely didn't think I was going to live through that. Just because it's a scary fucking situation to be in. Today was the 6-year anniversary, and I was so busy with everything, and I've been working so hard that I completely forgot about it. And when I woke up today, I saw lots of tweets about people wishing me a happy anniversary and celebrating Pallytime's Life Appreciation Day and spending time with your families and eating tacos. And, well, you started my day off making me cry really hard. And, I just want you to know it made me feel really good. And I'm going to try to reevaluate my life and make sure I don't miss out on important things, because I feel like I have been. Okay. Now that being said, we have a new hero coming out in Heroes of the Storm. Her name is Cassia, and she is a ranged assassin with a shield. She also has a blind. It's really weird. We're getting into a weird territory today. She is going to be released next week. She's on the new Heroes of the Storm PTR right now, and we are going to be taking a long, boring first look at the newest character to enter the Nexus, Cassia. I played her a little bit already at the event, then some today. If that doesn't sound interesting to you, going over every single one of her talents, looking at potential builds, and probably coming up with something. Why did I type talents? And probably coming up with something that won't be officially a skin. I can't type at all. There we go. That won't officially be a build. God, this intro sucks. Then you've been warned. Do not waste your time here. Here we go, boys. Here we go. So, she again is a ranged assassin. Let's go ahead and turn Malfurion off. We don't need all that noise, Furion. You could sit back there. We don't need you. Here's the dance. Fun fact: there's now an emoticon wheel, so we don't have to look. We don't have to type that kind of shit. So this is our dance. Don't know what it's from. Don't like it. And then our taunt. Now, the higher we get this character with the new 2.0 system, the more this taunt is going to be boisterous and everything. Also, there's more I wanted to say. Thank you to the people that decided to sponsor the stream while it's been offline. I know I don't stream very often, but anyone who does sponsor does directly support the channel. And I do appreciate that. I get the notifications every now and then, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, I totally forgot what it sounded like. Thank you to you guys. I wanted to say that before we started, but I forgot because I about cried. All right, so our abilities. We have Lightning Fury. This is a straight line skill shot with a 4-second cooldown. It will deal damage to the first target it comes into contact with, and spread out and do that kind of stuff. I don't find this to be as impactful as I would like. What I would really, I'm going to turn the cooldown off so I can just throw it more. What I would really like to see is another activation for this, so you can make the spread happen a little bit faster. So maybe throwing it this way and then detonating it so it could hit Arthas. As of right now, in the testing that I've done, it kind of seems like, yeah, the damage is nice and the poke is nice, but most of the time the extra damage that kind of spurs off from this is completely non-consequential. You typically don't hit a lot of people with that. Our W ability, thank you for sponsoring the channel. Fire under the bridge. W ability is Blinding Light. What this does, it's a blind in an area. So kind of like Johanna with her shield glare, except this is something you can actually cast a relatively good distance away from you. Oh God, I forgot that was there. Even though I just talked about it. Fuck. This has a 15-second cooldown, so use it wisely, but there's actually some really cool combos you can do with that. Now, her E ability is called Fend, and this allows her to dive in on a target and, yep, just kind of deal damage to everything in a frontal cone around it, and this lasts a pretty long time. You can also use this as a gap close, and then cancel it to keep running with the target to kind of chase someone down. And this is on a 10-second cooldown. Now, that ability is a little more risky to use than you might expect because of the trait of Cassia, and this is where things get really interesting with her, I think. So Cassia's trait gives her 65% physical armor when she's on the move. So auto attacks will hit her for 65% less damage as long as she's moving. And that is kind of indicated, Super Kami Guru, thank you for sponsoring. It's kind of indicated by the glowing of the shield. You can kind of see that. And then if we stop, the glow goes away. So while that glow is there, you take 65% less damage, which there's some cool play with that. That's really gonna take mastering the character to another level, because you have to, like, let's try to get Arthas to attack us here. Yo, hit me, don't just run away. So, oh God, he's useless. But essentially, you kind of want to be moving when someone would auto attack and then stop to do your stutter step. So, like, when they're attacking me, there's the hit, and then we would keep moving. And you kind of want to get in a rhythm like that in order to really utilize it. Now, outside of those situations, when you're just running away from something, it does make Cassia really hard to kill. And she does have some talents that really accentuate that even more and really, really make her quite good at getting away from things, but also quite good at chasing characters down with the proper talent. So a pretty cool trait, pretty unique as well. It does require you to switch up your gameplay a little bit. That's kind of what I like about the new traits that we're seeing. Like, Lucio plays different from other heroes because he has to stick to walls, and Cassia plays different from other range assassins because the timing of her movement actually comes into play. This makes her really good at killing, like, her whole kit makes her really, really good at killing, like, ranged auto attack assassins, like Sergeant Hammer, Rainer, Vala, things like that. She's going to do really well against. If we go ahead and set her to level 10, there we go. We'll go ahead and take a look at her heroic abilities as well. She has Ball Lightning, not Ball of Lightning. This is Ball Lightning. I'm gonna spit out my gum. I just needed to lubricate my throat a little bit. Ball Lightning, what it does is, well, you throw a ball at someone in this range, pretty short range. And then if you leave that range, that's all that happens. They take 229 damage, or 269 damage, excuse me. 96 damage. I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard. At level 10, and if you don't utilize it properly, that is all you are going to get. However, if you stay in range of the target, you will get the ball bouncing back and forth, and all of a sudden we just did 1,000 damage to him. It does, I believe, 6 bounces, and it's quite deadly if you're able to keep up with the target and kind of chase him down. And remember, while you're moving, you take less damage as well from most things, anything but spells. So that's pretty good. There is an upgrade at level 20 that makes us bounce indefinitely, which is kind of cool, although I don't know how useful. You can kind of make it work. You could probably make it work. The other heroic ability is Valkyrie. Now this one is flashy as fuck. I love this one. This is my kind of ult. Basically, it's a skill shot that looks like this. You throw it down, a Valkyrie comes down from the high heavens and brings a target with them, pulls that target towards you. So great for targets that are escaping. If anyone gets caught on the trail, they will be pulled forward. The first target it contacts will be pulled forward. Now, let's say there are 2 targets. We can do that, right? We can do that. The Lost Vikings. Let's say there's 2 targets. What will happen instead of every target being pulled forward? What you're going to see is that I didn't put my chat in low latency mode. Fuck! I knew you guys seemed really far behind. Let me see if I can fix that. I should be able to fix that. Anyway, this is what it looks like. So it'll pull the first target and kind of push everyone off to the side. I should be able to show that. Yeah, there you go. So it's a way of bringing someone in from the back line towards your hero, specifically for like Sergeant Hammers or Lieutenant Moraleses or, you know, something like that. Someone who's going to be sitting in the back line and you want them coming up to you. It's fantastic for that. How do I switch this? Is it info and settings? God, YouTube, why are you so complicated? Why are you so complicated? Advanced settings. There it is. Optimize for low latency, please. Thank you. Oh, I died. I am trash. I think I missed a sponsor. Sexy Pants. It actually popped up on OBS before it popped up in chat that time. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. Latency should be better in chat. You guys should be able to interact a little bit more. Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay, so those are the abilities. I love her kit. I'm not gonna lie. Her kit feels... Why would I lie? Why? I don't need to say that. I don't lie about shit. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it adds emphasis, but it's also like, yo, why did that guy have to say that? Why would he lie to me in the first place? Why do we need any of that? I just think her kit makes a lot of sense, and it kind of, you know how Vala has always been viable in the game? Mainly because she's like just reliable. She does damage. That's what she does. She does really good damage. She has a safe kit, and she's able to trade into most characters. I feel like Cassia is going to be exactly the same. She has a really good kit. She has good survivability baseline, and she's going to be able to trade really well into most characters. Even spell damage dealers. Most casters are really squishy, and with the right build, she can deal a lot of bonus damage. And she also has a way to pull those casters out of cover, which is pretty fantastic. So let's start taking the deep dive into talents, if you don't mind. I'm gonna head back to the well really quick. So, at level 1, Leprechaun. Thank you for sponsoring. At level 1, this is kind of how you define how you want to play for the rest of the game, or at least that's how I see it. Now, I do think there are two pretty viable builds here. We have builds focused on either our Q ability, so the straight line skill shot that kind of bounces off. We have a lot of talents that can really benefit that. And we have some talents that can also benefit our combo. And the combo would be a blind into an E ability. Now keep in mind, your trait is only active while you're moving. So the combo build is kind of setting you up with the precedence of, I need to go in and secure a kill, and it has to be like, you have to do it then. You gotta go in and you gotta get that kill. Otherwise, you're gonna be bursted down because you're not moving anymore. So keep that in mind. I think there's gonna be a really safe build, and then a really aggressive, all-in, secure a kill, and also get a decent amount of healing build at the same time. So at level 1, we have Thunderstroke. Hit enemies with Lightning Fury. After hitting 20 enemies, increases Lightning Fury's damage by 75. That's a pretty big increase, and it's not that hard to hit 20 heroes. Especially when you think about the fact that you have the potential to hit 3 with every cast under perfect settings. After hitting 40 heroes, Lightning Fury gains a second charge, and its mana cost is reduced from 30 to 15. I played this build the first time that I played Cassia, and it felt great. As enemy teams were clumping up to fight me, I was just throwing these out nonstop. Keep in mind, we do have cooldowns being refreshed right now, but that is only a 4-second cooldown, and you still have time to do your other things while that cooldown is happening. So it's not like you're totally reliant on this for all of your action, but you can weave in auto attacks, play perfectly safe, and stay really far back with this setup, and be pretty successful, actually. I think it's a pretty good build. Now that would be the start of a Q-based build. The start of an E-based build, which would be your javelin thing. Goes like that. Pretty good at wave clear. Pretty good at AoE team fights. For a start of that build, you would want to go for something like True Sight. And I know that's a W ability, so why would you be taking it for an E build? Well, damage to blinded heroes... what? That's such a weird way of putting that. Damage blinded heroes 80 times with abilities or basic attacks is the quest, and then the reward is increases blinding light's duration by 1 second. So, well, okay, you just have to damage them. Well, I mean, are you talking about Qs? Yeah. Are you talking about auto attacks? Yeah. I mean, both of those work, but really what you want to do with this ability is blind someone and then jump in on the E. I just got like 20 stacks of quest progression there, and then you just do it again. Now I'm at 35 stacks of quest progression. Do this to a target and they will take a massive amount of hits, especially if you can land the full duration, which won't happen very often, let's be honest. Kind of the way this build is, this ability works, is that enemies can simply, like, you can see the thing here. You move up to the character, you gap close onto the character, and then there's this like triangle that expands forward. To simply dodge it, let's say you're the hero that's here, you just walk to the side. Like, that's it. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna get out of that. But if you have CC on your team applying this, Or if you're able to just get in a really good position on the map, like with some kind of obstruction right here or something, you could stack up those numbers crazy fast. And I mean crazy fast. And there's a lot of talents that really incorporate that kind of damage bonus in quite well, and you can get a lot out of the ability. And it's good for chasing. It's pretty good. And keep in mind that, let's go ahead and reset talents. I believe this also works on minions as well, so we could do this. No, it's only heroes. So the quest thing is only for heroes. It did say that, didn't it? Yeah. So anyway, it is a good foundation to start up a build that has decent lane clear and decent AoE damage, but you are putting yourself at risk by not moving with the trait. Okay. And then the last talent at level 1, activate to increase basic attack damage by 25% and cause basic attacks to bounce to nearby enemy heroes for 8 seconds. Now, I do like that talent. It's all right. So your basic attacks deal more damage if you activate the thing, and you can kind of cleave things down a little bit more. My problem with it is it's not a lot of burst damage. It's just kind of inconsequential damage, whereas I feel like the other two talents are a bit more impactful. A bit more impactful. So it's like, oh yeah. Granted, that is a decent amount. Maybe we do like that. Maybe we do like that talent, team. What's the cooldown on this? 20 seconds too. All right, maybe that's not bad. Maybe that's not bad. I kind of looked at this when I was originally playing her, and I was like, man, I'm not too sold on that, but how many targets does it bounce to? Bounce to nearby enemy heroes. Okay. All right, that's better than I thought. That's better. That kind of put a kink in everything that I thought I knew. Lasts for 8 seconds and has a 20-second cooldown. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, we'll see if we can incorporate that somewhere. My recommendation was going to be these first two. So let's go on the basis that you're going to start with a combo build. So at level 4 for the combo build, Inner Light. Whenever Cassia is stunned or rooted, Blinding Light is cast at her location. This effect has a 6-second cooldown. So essentially, if you get charged by Nevermind, Varian doesn't stun anymore. But if you get rooted by Arthas, super prominent in the meta. If you get rooted by Malfurion, super prominent in the meta. You're going to be casting a blind around you, and then you can combo off that blind for increased damage. So that's pretty good. Is there a charge an enemy upon arrival? 45 seconds. Delay. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Agreed. Cassia heals for 25% of the damage she deals to blinded targets. Isn't there like Cassia deals yeah, it's increased damage to blinding targets. Did I forget about that? I feel like I forgot about that. Did you guys tell me I forgot about that? Because I feel like I forgot about that. She just, when anything blinded is what takes the additional damage. That's why this is good. And then you get more damage by doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Okay. All right, moving on. Ring of Leech, Cassia heals for 25% of the damage she deals to blinded enemies. This is for like burst healing. If you wanted to pick that up, you could do a lot of burst healing to a target. But again, I don't think it's that good because there's a stipulation that, well, the target can just move out of this cone. Not very hard to do that, especially if you're in a 1v1 situation where there's nothing else going on. So I would recommend the Plate of the Whale. Regenerates 5 health per second while Avoidance is active. Now this is a quest talent. For every 5 basic attacks absorbed with Avoidance, it regenerates an additional 1 health per second. After absorbing 75% basic attacks, increases Cassia's maximum health by 10%. So this is going to be passive regeneration, where we just kind of walk around. If someone's attacking us while we walk around, it's eventually going to increase our health regen. So we're at 6.39 health regeneration per second at level 12. At level 12, without completing the quest at all. Once the quest is completed and we keep moving, shouldn't that go up quite a bit? Did I not understand the talent correctly? I mean, we're getting 20 a second, but it doesn't say that there. I think I found a bug. All right, well, we get a lot of health back. I'm not sure why that's not working. Anyway, it's passive regen. You're just chilling. You're regenerating health like crazy, and you're going to be regenerating health as you move around. So even in the middle of team fights, you're going to be getting that increased regen. As you're rotating in between lanes, you're going to be getting that increased regen. Essentially, it's like having a regen globe up all of the time. And I shouldn't have to tell you how good that is. That's just really good. So that's the one I would pick up there. It does take a little time to build it up, but as you're moving around in team fights, people are just going to naturally auto-attack you anyway, so it's not like you're doing anything extra for it. Then at level 7, we have Impale. Enemies below 40% take 50% increased damage from Fend. So you're just going to get a small damage bonus as you jump in on targets like this. We go from 81 to 144. So, well, a small damage bonus. It's actually quite a sizable damage bonus. But again, the amount of time you are probably going to be hitting someone for, not very long. Then we have, let's go ahead and reset talents. Then we have the War Traveler. Cassia gains 3% movement speed for every 5.5 seconds while avoidance is active, up to 15%. This bonus is reset when Cassia stops moving or uses an ability. So what this does is allow you to get away from situations significantly easier. As you're walking, you're slowly ramping up your movement speed. This is about half mount speed. Also, this is a way for you to move around in combat significantly easier and catch up to enemies. Remember, stutter stepping is important to our kit. So as we continue to move, we can kind of gain ground a little bit more, where other stutter stepping characters would slowly get out of range. We can kind of make up that ground a little bit more. And it does stop when you use an ability, but usually when you're using an ability, you go in for the kill like that, and then it just takes like 3 seconds to ramp back up to the highest movement speed. And keep in mind, if you did go for the Plate of the Whale, you are going to be healing as you do this too for 20 seconds, as long as or for 20 health per second, as long as your trait is active. So some decent synergy there. It encourages you to move around and reposition a lot and really not get punished for it too much. The other talent at this level, we have Surge of Light. After taking 833 damage with avoidance, she gains active avoidance, deal 400 damage to enemies around her. So how does that work? Did I even read that? That sounded really weird. After taking 833 damage with avoidance, so that's us moving around, while it's active, Cassia can activate avoidance. Oh, I see. So it's like damage burst whenever we want it. I just don't feel like that's super good compared to the other ones. I feel like the other ones have much higher of a place. Now, it doesn't take that long to soak up that damage, though. And then we can just kind of deal that. I mean, I did have a lot of minions attacking us. And you can kind of prime this. You can charge this up, kind of like a Zarya shield. Keep in mind, we're fighting fucking Vikings, though. Like, that may have looked impressive, but it was still Vikings. Does the E activate on towers? No. It's only heroes and minions. So I guess it would activate on mercenaries, too, but... So, I mean, I'm not too sold on that. I don't think it'll be that good. I think the other two are definitely better talents. You would pick Impale versus, like, super tanky teams, and War Traveler when you just wanted more sustain. So, if we are just doing a normal build here, we'll do something like this. Sure, why not? And then at level 10, you know, you can really go for either one of these. I think Ball Lightning is going to be better in unorganized situations, where Valkyrie is going to be better when your team has damage follow-up. And I think that's very important to distinguish. One of these is for winning team fights with an organized team. The other is for dealing damage easily to enemy heroes. So you can kind of pick and choose. Again, I think one's going to be better for organized teams, and the other is going to be better just in general for bouncing that damage around and getting kills. You know, I actually really like this talent. The more I think about it, that level 1 talent, I actually really like it. Anyway, at level 13, hey MFPallytime, why do you prefer streaming here on YouTube? Because I have 200,000 subscribers. As opposed to Twitch, where I have like 2,000 followers. And I pretty much think that sums up the majority of the reason. I already have an established audience here. At 13, we do have Grounding Bolt. Lightning Fury slows enemies hit by 20% for 1.5 seconds. Keep in mind that's a 1.5 second slow on a 4-second cooldown ability that you can have 2 charges on. So fantastic for a Q build. I really felt it brought a lot to the Q build when I was doing it, but we're currently not building for a Q build as of right now. We have Thunder God's Vigor. Enemies hit by the primary missile of Lightning Fury reduce its cooldown by 1 second. So that just means that if you're landing your Qs, you can throw more Qs, and with a second cooldown on the ability, throw even more Qs and more Qs and more Qs. So it takes away a little bit of utility that you would get for doing nothing and adds more damage output to a single target ability. If you hit an enemy hero, there's a lot of stipulations there. I don't think I like that one as much. Reduces Blinding Light's mana cost from 70 to 40. Basic attacks against blinded enemies reduce the cooldown of Blinding Light by 3 seconds. Now this is basic attacks, correct? So I don't believe our E counts as basic attacks, but I will test that really quick. We're going to turn cooldowns off. 15-second cooldown. Try it on the dummy. No. So that did not lower the cooldown. I also didn't take it. That would help. It's been a long day, team. Let's try it again. Yeah. So that's not going to be giving us any cooldown. This lasts for 2 seconds, which means that's a lot of cooldown reduction. That's a lot of cooldown reduction. Holy shit. Wow. How long are they fucking blinded? Targets by 50%. Is that really just 2 seconds? There's no way this is 2 seconds. Why is that longer? What the fuck? There's no way that's 2 seconds. What's our attack speed? 1.3? So we should be able to get, what, 3 attacks off, maybe? Like, no. What am I missing? What did I do? Why am I dumb? What did I do? Something's not working. After 0.5 seconds, blind the target area for 2 seconds. What are our talents? Increases blind duration by 1 second. Okay, so that's 3 seconds off of the quest. Is this 3 seconds? That seems like 5. This seems like 6 seconds. Hold on, I'll look at OBS. Yes, agreed. So I'm at 40 seconds right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an 8-second blind? What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm confused. This only stacks up to 80. It's not going higher. We're not getting more CDR. Yeah, that's not working right. That's not working right. I wonder if it's just a longer duration in general. Let's reset talents. So if we just cast it, dude. That's with no talents. That's with no talents. That's like 1,000,000 seconds. All right, so we'll report that. We'll report that, team. That's crazy. I thought I was losing my mind. Well, what I did want to test is if we get the thing where they split off. So this thing. First of all, how many times did that bounce? Does it hit all 3? God, that seems really good. I like that talent a lot. How long does that last? That's 8 seconds. So if we get that, and if we get the movement speed, and we get the ball lightning, and we get the cooldown reduction, do we get 2 applications of cooldown reduction for 1 auto attack if it bounces? Let's see. So I've turned it on. Here's the blind, and yep, that's 2 applications of cooldown reduction every bounce, and that's hitting all 3 Vikings. Fuck, that's really good. That's really good. I like that a lot. That's really good. But what kind of mana cost are we looking at then? Because that's 70 mana, and we only have 640. So if we cast that, here, let's actually cast it on them. Dude, I don't even think it's applying the right kind of mana cost reduction. Yo, take a ball. I feel like I'm getting a shit ton of regen. Five health. Okay. It's not even costing 70 mana. What the fuck? Look. 640. It's 3 seconds left on the cooldown. It only goes down to 600. It's not. It doesn't even take 70 mana. Gabriel Almedia, thank you for sponsoring. Here, one more time. 40 mana. I actually think it's 39. The fuck? What the fuck? This is with no quest max. This is not getting any reduction. The blind lasts way longer than it should and doesn't have an accurate mana cost. Okay. Let's see. Is it another talent? Activates to increase basic attack damage by 25%? Nope. Cassia gains 3% movement speed? Nope. Ball lightning? Throw a ball of lightning at an enemy hero that bounces 6 times between nearby enemies? Nope. Reduces the blinding largets. Oh, okay. That's what it is. Oh god, I'm so good. I'm so good at reading. I'm really just the best. I'm really just the best streamer in the whole world. I've decided just now. I read all of my talents thoroughly. So it's only a mana cost reduction. It reduces the cooldown by 3 seconds when we attack something. I get that. But there's no reason that the blind should be lasting for 8 seconds. It's the whole fucking thing about the blind lasting for like 2 years that threw me off on all of this. It's not my fault. I read chat team. That's why I was looking at other talents. Remember, you're on a 2 fucking minute delay because I didn't set up the stream properly. You guys gotta give me a break. Okay. And then the other talent in this tier, let's see. Let's go for this build. Let's go for this one. I like this one.
That's familiar.
Yeah, this is the right tier. Increases Fenn's range by 20% and its duration by 0.5 seconds. Now, I like this one if you're going for the combo build because the range and area is a pretty sizable increase. So this is what it looks like normally. I'll go ahead and complete our quests and toggle off our cooldowns. This is the range normally. Once you get this, this becomes a range. So again, you can easily sidestep out of this like you're dodging a Kerrigan combo. But if someone is running away from you, which will happen a lot, you're really good at chasing people down, and you position properly for that, you can still deal a lot of damage as they're running away. Kind of like this. And then you can do the ball lightning thing, and then you run faster than them, so you can just keep this bouncing. You guys are saying I completed the quest multiple times. Do you really think that's the reason? If I completed it multiple times and the complete quest thing was a thing, then this would last even longer. Right? I mean, I don't think it's getting longer. What was the quest talents complete set to 500 for unlimited quest talents? But guys, it's like the part you missed is if I reset everything entirely, it lasts for the same fucking duration. So I have no quest talents right now. We reset. We're level 1, no talents, nothing. Nothing. Still going on way too long. It's just a bug. They'll fix it. Don't worry, team. So we're still going for the combo build with survivability. We're going ball lightning. We're going to get the increased duration. And now, as we continue on to level 16, we can continue to complement this build quite nicely. We can then go for consecutive hits. Deal increased damage. Enemies take 3% increased damage from Fend each consecutive hit. Now this combos with the blind damage bonus, which I'll go ahead and complete my quests again.
Make haste.
And as you can see, that stacks up quite nicely. If you could position this properly in some kind of a mosh pit or something like that, especially with, so let's go ahead and stop all damage. If you could get ball lightning going as well, for shits and giggles, let's get the infinite bounce at level 20. That's what it does. So we'll cast this, and then we'll go combo. That's 3,000 burst damage right there, boys. That's pretty amazing. I like that. I like that a lot. If we were going to look at other talents, which I mean we should, we're being objective here. We have Pierce. The primary missile of Lightning Fury now pierces, but splits only when hitting heroes. Now, what I wanted to test for that is, because I didn't pick that up, it splits both times. So that makes it a lot better at dealing damage in team fights, especially when you can hit multiple targets. But again, it's still, like, my impression of the ability as a whole is still like the side damage just feels inconsequential. But the Pierce does help that out quite a bit. Does help that out quite a lot. And then the last talent we have at our disposal at level 16 would be the Martial Law. Basic attacks against stunned, rooted, or slowed enemies deal bonus damage equal to 3% of the hero's maximum health. So it is a fucking executioner, but instead of critical hit damage, it's health damage. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. You guys are saying that each time I reset the talents, it isn't being taken away. Okay. So let's try that. Let's try that. We can go ahead and restart and see if that's the case. So we'll go for the same talents. We'll set our level. I mean, if that is the case, then that's good. It's not bugged when people are practicing her. Her win rate won't be skewed when she enters the game. Looks like that was indeed the case. Congratulations, chat. You figured it out. You made a really big deal about it. Let's go ahead and I gave you a round of applause. Now, again, I'm not sure if Executioner does the same thing or if this is better. Not sure. But stun, roots, slows, any type of CC that keeps a person little encumbered will give you this bonus. Of course, this will also tie in with the impale damage. So enemies below 50% take 40%, take 50% more damage. That combos together quite nicely if you wanted to go down that route as well. But I actually like the penetrate in most cases. I like that damage just stacking up because that did 2,000 damage right there. Our combo right there did 2,000 damage, and I think that's pretty amazing. Now, at level 20, we have the Infinite Lightning Bounce, which does this. For as long as you were standing here, it does this. My first impression of this was it was like the Polybomb, where in a setting like this, it seems good, but in a setting that's not like this, it doesn't seem as good. Keep in mind, every time it bounces, it lowers the cooldown by 4 seconds. Can I have 2 of these? Oh, shit! Oh, I didn't know that! This is ridiculous! Oh! Toggle cooldowns. Yes! Feel my power! Yes! Alright, that was fun. But it kind of felt like Polybomb, where, you know, how's that going to happen? But I thought about it more, and you do have a lot of tools to really stay in range of characters. You have the movement speed we picked up at level 7, so we can kind of keep up with Arthas here as he would try to run away. And keep in mind that you also have a gap close on your E. So you have a lot of ways of keeping up with people. You take less damage when you're keeping up with people, and you also have a pretty decent gap close that would allow you to re-engage with the target. So overall, I actually think it's a lot more valid, a lot more viable than Polybomb is, and there's significantly easier ways to keep it attached to targets. Kill the boss with it? Oh, that sounds fun. Let's see if we can do that. That sounds really fun. I like you, chat. We'll toggle cooldowns just to get it back. Oh, you can't target the boss. Oh, it only bounces for heroes. Alright, chat, I dislike you again. I'm just kidding. So, the more I think about it, the more I think this is probably okay. Also, it's just really fun to look at. So yeah, that's why I think this is the one you would pick up in like Hero League, if you just want to deal damage to people. If you just want to kill the enemy team, pretty solid. But if you're trying to move people out of position for like organized team fights, or the enemy team had a Sergeant Hammer way in the back or something, Valkyrie pretty strong. The other option is Titan's Revenge. Cassia's basic attacks now ignore armor, and her basic attack range is increased by 2. This would combo extremely well with our charge strikes at level 1, because this would, I assume, cleave the armor penetration with it. She's the only character in the game right now, I believe, that has armor penetration. So if we go ahead and reset our talents one more time, we can take a look at these. Probably go cooldown reduction there. Yeah, I actually think our basic attack build's really good. So when Arthas comes back, we'll hit him. We hit the building for 285. We hit Arthas for 285. Now, if we reset our talents, we should hit him for less because he has built-in armor. 257. So I'm gonna let you do the math because I'm way too tired to do it. But you do get more damage out of each auto attack. You would get more damage out of your auto attacks here too, right? I think, maybe not. But I'm also assuming that armor penetration would cleave. So it's dealing true damage. I believe she's the only character that can deal true damage, because everyone else just kind of deals percentage-based damage, where this is damage that's unmitigated. It's like Giant Killer is percentage-based. This is unmitigated. So that's pretty fucking cool. The more I talk about her, the more I think her auto attack build would be pretty valid. So we do cooldown reduction, and then yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, team. That's pretty good, team. That's pretty good. You want me to run in circle while casting balls? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'm sure that would look really good. I'm all about looking good. Yeah, that's pretty satisfying. That is pretty goddamn satisfying. And with that talent, with the Titan's Revenge, you get the 2 basic attack range increase, which makes you safer at dealing that true damage to a target. And does that make the chain go further as well? Who knows? I certainly don't. If we were to take a look at the other talent at level 20 for the Valkyrie, fuck me, I picked the wrong one. If we were to take a look at the other talent, then oh my god. It's like I'm immune to the blue. It's like because it changes from gold to blue, I can't see it. We would just root a target as we pull them in. Or is it a stun? It looks like a stun there. Upon impaling a hero, Cassia's Valkyrie creates a wave of light that deals 456 damage to nearby enemies and roots them. Oh, it's a root to everybody else. Oh, that's cool. So let's bring out our enemy team again. Let's bring out our Vikings, our guinea pigs here. Let's get rid of Furion as well. He's kind of messing up everything. So what that does is allows you to pull a target out of position and then root the team that was huddled around them. Which is awesome. So it should work here. Everyone else is rooted. I don't know. Seems too hard to pull off to really be that effective. Yo, Belloc, why'd you live until the end? That's bullshit. So it doesn't help when they're charging at me. But we pull in Belloc from the back. Those guys weren't rooted. He was just kind of shoved out of the way. I don't know. I feel like the infinite lightning. Also, I mean, okay, all right. Let's come up with the builds. That'll make this thought a little bit more cohesive, right? So I do think she's gonna have 3 viable builds. I really do, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I don't think I've ever seen a character other than Vala that has 3 viable builds. I think they're trying really hard here, and I think they've done a really phenomenal job with this character. Even if her damage numbers are nerfed, there's 3 different playstyles that I think bring a lot to the game. And the more I've tested the auto attack build, the stronger I think it's going to be. So let's go over the auto attack build first. You would go for charge strikes level 1, so it splits. I am adamant about these healing talents, specifically the one where you're moving around. But Ring of Leech might be really good with the auto attack spreading. We're going to go for the movement speed. I think that's crucial even for an auto attack build. We're going to go for Ball Lightning because we are going to be moving faster and it's going to be easier to stick to targets. You guys are doing great. You're doing great. Then we're going to go for Basic Attack reduces the Blinding Light cooldown. So as we auto attack these guys, it is going to lower the cooldown of our Blinding Light so we can heal for more and basically keep Blinding Light up all the time. Then we're going to go for... I guess we have to go for Martial Law. Actually, honestly, I think Pierce might be better here, depending on your team comp. Martial Law obviously makes sense if your team's organized, but that's not going to be damage you're going to get all the time. It's only when CC is happening, whereas Pierce you can benefit from it all the time, just not to as much of an extent as with a Q-based build. But we'll keep with the theme, Martial Law, and then Titan's Revenge. We'll bring out a character like Arthas. Again, a character who has a lot of armor and is typically hard to take down for auto-attacking heroes. Go ahead and toggle minions on as well so he doesn't just walk into the tower and die. And now we can activate our 1, spread damage around to other heroes in the area. After we blind Arthas, we're going to be healing as well, and he's going to be easier to keep up with as long as we keep moving. Ball Lightning on him is going to stop him from escaping. Now let's do it with cooldowns turned off, because I agree that wasn't fair, although I also think it was pretty accurate to the amount of damage that we could actually put out. We're going to activate our 1. Just because we're treating this like a full-blown team fight scenario. Activate our 1, blind him, and then just keep landing these auto attacks. Even with him slowing my auto attacks, we're still dealing a ton of damage to him, and we could have thrown up Ball Lightning at the same time. Pretty fucking ridiculous. Pretty fucking ridiculous. Now, if you wanted to go for a Q-based build, by the way, I think I highly recommend this one. Obviously, I haven't tested it yet. I didn't even think it would be that valid. But it seems really good. So keep that in mind. Have not tested. If we go ahead and take a look at a Q-based build, we would obviously want to go for Thunderstroke at level 1. I would go for Plate of the Whale because I think you're going to be moving even more with the Q-based build. Then, again, no real good talents for Qs here, so you go for Movement Speed. Ball Lightning. Then go for the slow. That's going to make it easier for Ball Lightning to stay connected, as well as the slow from your Q. Going to go for Pierce, and then Infinite Lightning. And that's going to look like this. 3 seconds. So we cast it on a target, we slow him down, and then we just focus on staying next to him, which is easy to do with our increased movement speed. We could have slowed him some more. We could have had 2 charges on this quest. We wanted to complete it. And this is more of like your back range poke, but very durable back range poke. Really strong. I've played this one myself when we were testing, and I wasn't ever like fearful of my life. Like there was at no point where I was like, man, I could really get fucked here. Now, obviously, we're not dealing as much damage to Arthas here, and he could try to move in and deal a lot of damage to us, but then we just move out of his range with our slows, with our 65% armor, and really there's not too much he can do with that. Not sure why the lightning didn't bounce there. Not sure why at all. And then the combo build, the one that I think is the most fun to play, and definitely the one that has the most damage burst, right? You definitely get a ton of damage burst out of this one. So maybe play it with a Li Ming of some kind. You would go for Empower Blind. So increases blind duration by 1 second and increases Blinding Light's passive damage by 10% more. So you're going to be dealing 25% damage with the Blinding Light. We're going to go ahead and complete that quest, even though I know it's real weird. Then you get burst healing from Ring of the Leech. Burst healing. But consistent healing from Plate of the Whale. Kind of up to you. Personally, I'm a fan of Plate of the Whale. Impale. Ball Lightning. Then... yeah, we would definitely want the Lunging Strike into the Penetrate, and then Infinite Lightning again. So the combo would look... Let's go ahead and kill off Arthas and see if we can bring him back in. Full health. It's pretty insane. That's pretty insane damage. So with this setup, you might think, well, if someone moves to the side, they're still dodging the majority of your damage. And that is true. But with your full combo online, they're also in range of Ball Lightning, which means that bad boy is going to keep bouncing. And we did 50% of Arthas' damage just like that. Now, we won't have our full combo up all the time. Ball Lightning is pretty important to that. But what we will have up most of the time is just our ability to poke from range safely and then commit all in when the time calls for it. Obviously, a lot harder to position. I don't think this build will have as good of a win rate as a result, because the other two, pretty straightforward. You just throw stuff at people, you just auto-attack them, or you sit back with your Qs. But I do think in the right comp, if you have burst heavy damage, Li Ming, Zeratul on your team, trying to set up as much burst as possible, I think that this one is pretty solid. And honestly, it's the one I have the most fun with, even in a laning sense, because you can really take your time in lane, wait for someone to get low, play the waiting game, let them feel like they're comfortable and that they can win, and then you go in with the ability, as they try to run away, they just get taken down. I really like this one. So those are the 3 builds I would recommend. She is going to be strong. I think she's going to be really... a staple in the game's competitive scene for a long time. She's going to be a staple in Hero League for a long time, just like Vala has been, because she's just really good at what she does, which is harass the back line, harass the strong characters like Vala, like Greymane, like anyone really, like any kind of support on the back line. She's really good at harassing them, but also the damage mitigation, if used properly at a very high skill level, allows her to outplay a lot of heroes, and she's just really fun to play in general. So thank you all for sitting through today's very long, very boring, very drawn-out look at Cassia. I do believe all 3 builds will be fun to play, and I don't believe I've ever said that about a hero. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I really feel strongly that she is incredibly well designed. Reminds me of Jaina when Jaina was released. Jaina had 3 really strong builds when she came out. But I wasn't doing theory crafting videos then, so take that. So this is the R stacking up with no cooldown reduction. Also, keep in mind that if we were using this against 2 heroes, there is a possibility that this bounce could end if they separate and they don't let it bounce back and forth. But it's incredibly strong in a 1v1 setting. Incredibly strong. So what counters her? That's actually a great question. I haven't talked about that at all. Anything with CC. Anything that can stop her from moving will cause her to take lots more damage because her active mitigation is not up, which means she becomes significantly weaker in those type of settings. But you can also counter that versus some teams at level 4? So if you see the enemy team has a lot of CC and you're really worried, and they also have a lot of auto attack damage, you can counter some of that with Inner Light, and that means you're going to be doing these free blinds, and you can also proc extra damage off of those free blinds at the same time. So that concludes my theory crafting video, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. I know we had some mishaps there with some towns being bugged and me trying to figure it out, and just general exhaustion overall. Thank you to all the new sponsors today. I thoroughly appreciate the support of the channel. I hope all of you enjoy your top hats, and I am going to be calling it a night now. It's been a long day. Like I started the stream by saying, you know, I wanted to take more time away from the computer. I need to reevaluate my work schedule. And then I stream from, or made videos from noon until 10. Okay. Bye, everybody. Can you ult yourself? No, it's only enemies. I'm leaving now, for real, though.